US Secretary of State John Kerry has visited his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov in Moscow. That comes as the White House and the Kremlin forge an uneasy alliance over the need to fight terror group the Islamic State. But at the same time, major differences remain over how to resolve the conflicts in Syria and Ukraine. Jeffrey Sommers, writing in the New York Times, says now could be the time for lasting change. He writes, "The Syrian crisis presents an opportunity for a real reset with US-Russia relations. Policy and opinion makers in both countries poorly understand each other. The United States presents policy objectives in the normative language of democracy, delinked from concrete interests. Current Russian policy, however, is shorn of ideology. Maintaining progress can only advance in a stable world, not through upending states from Egypt, Iraq, Libya to Syria, while hoping democracy follows." Sommers argues that the lack of understanding between Russia and the US has been recently seen in the conflict in Ukraine and the country's pro-EU Maidan uprising during the winter of 2014-2015. He says an expansionist Russia could have handily taken Ukraine in response to the Maidan protests, but this would have meant a new Cold War, or worse. An unending string of US policy experts predicted that annexation of Ukraine by Russia was fast forthcoming. But Putin never took Ukraine, or even the Donbass. What happened? It's clear Putin never intended to seize Ukraine, or even the Donbass. Instead, Putin's actions signaled that the status quo over NATO's forward movement must change. The Donbass was his leverage. As a result of the West not understanding Russia's true motivations for acting in Ukraine, the measures used against Russia have also not been effective, according to Sommers. He says US and EU sanctions on Russia have not brought Russia to heel in Ukraine. The sanctions' effects have been muted. Sanctions only worked to turn Russia to China on trade, while working toward a national import substitution-based economy at home. Both results are against US and EU wishes. Putin wants partnership with the West, but is not willing to be its supplicant. But the current fight against ISIS in Syria offers an opportunity for the US and Russia to work together once again in a more productive fashion. Many have suggested this could be to the detriment of Ukraine. However, Sommers sees things differently. The United States and Russia will not reconcile their worldviews soon, yet they can pursue common objectives in the Syrian ISIS crisis that over time could expedite resolution of that challenge. Ironically, a bruised Ukraine could emerge as the victor if the European Union, Russia and the United States re-establish a framework for greater cooperation. So our commentator today says the civil war in Syria offers the US and Russia a chance at a real reset in relations. The winner in all of this could be Ukraine. But in the highly charged current political climate, the removal of US and EU sanctions on Russia would be seen as nothing less than a defeat for Kiev. That's all we have time for today. Join us again tomorrow for another press review. In Kiev, this is Ukraine Today.